Internet, Eric here. I'm going to talk some celebrities today. I haven't talked about them in a while, and since it's been a couple weeks and no longer relevant, I'm going to talk about Roseanne and her racist tweet, however you want to interpret it, depending on what side of the fence you sit on. I didn't plan on talking about this. I've talked about it enough, on Twitter, and I don't think I've ever talked about it on Facebook, but I've talked about it at work and here at home, and people kept asking me, why don't you make a video and talk about it? So here I am. And this way maybe you can understand where I take this situation, because I'm actually speaking my opinion and not just saying it through text. Apparently Roseanne sent out a tweet one day. She was comparing, I believe, someone from the Obama administration or a past advisor to, I believe, the offspring of someone from Islam and someone from the Planet of the Apes. I don't know if that's the actual tweet, but I do know that this person was compared to someone from the Planet of the Apes. Now, I've seen a picture of this woman, and apparently she is black, I guess. She does have dark skin. I don't know if she looks more Latin than she does black, but I don't even know who she is. So I don't really care. And there's this big uproar because Roseanne compared a woman of color to an ape, and everyone's labeling her a racist, blah blah blah. And through these actions, her return to ABC was canceled. The new Roseanne show is canceled. And I was a big fan of it. I loved the initial run. It was really, really good up until the last season, where it kind of got a little batshit. And then I really enjoyed it when it came back. I laughed my ass off in so many episodes. And now here's the thing. A lot of people, you got two sides now. You got two sides saying Roseanne is racist and she should be punished. And then you got other sides saying that, well, this is Roseanne's freedom of speech. ABC shouldn't have fired her and canceled the show. And how come you're firing her and this and that? And they're comparing it to so many other celebrities and the what's-his-face from football who started this whole take a knee during the national anthem thing. Here's the thing. Yes, I'm a fan of Roseanne, her show. But here's the thing. First off, to the people who are saying they're taking away her freedom of speech, they're not taking away her freedom of speech. She still has that freedom to say whatever the fuck she wants. But you also have to look at it this way. You can say what you want, but you also have to be prepared for any type of consequences that may happen, especially if your employer sees that. Now, I can go out on Twitter or Facebook or social media, any type of form of social media, and I can say where I work, and I can trash, the president, the vice president, the company itself. Freedom of speech. I can go out there and do that right now. But I also have to be prepared for someone else who works for that company, or someone who does business with that company, or, word of mouth getting back to the president that I bash, and he has the reputation, he has the option to fire me. Because, think of it this way, even though Roseanne said this at home, she made what she said public. And even though she was at home, since she is on television, she's on ABC, she's also representing the ABC brand, the ABC family, whatever you want to call it. So ABC did not want bad PR. They do not want someone making a racist tweet. No matter if Roseanne said it was a joke and poor taste, we'll get to that. They don't want someone representing their company, because that's what she is. Because she's got this hit show on their channel, she's representing them. She's bringing money in for that company. And now that she has done this, ABC doesn't want to be associated with that. And that's business, plain and simple. Do I think they kind of made a split decision? Yes. I do think that maybe she could have been reprimanded just herself. I mean, she has apologized. She's not the first celebrity to say something stupid on social media, which is another thing I'll get to, and apologize, and things have gone, back to normal. But like I said, she's representing she's representing them, no matter what they say. It's like I'm representing my company. Other actors on television are representing their channel, what have you. I personally think she could have been reprimanded herself. And the reason why that is because since she's done this, the show's been canceled. So that means the actors are no longer working on that. Writers, producers, set designers, all that stuff. And what's sad is that since Roseanne had come back, this show, they just, like after the first or second episode of the return, they got signed on for another season. Because the ratings were so huge. And the reason why this is bad is because a lot of those people, like I'm sure John Goodman's well off, I'm sure Sarah Gilbert's well off, but let's not even talk about the actors. Let's talk about the set designers and all them. They were probably already planning for another season. They could have made some huge purchases, bought a new car, bought a house, because they're expecting, okay, we have another season to go for. And then just like that, it's gone. So, and they had nothing to do with what Roseanne said on Twitter. So I do think ABC might have jumped the gun a little bit. They could have reprimanded her. And now there's talks about maybe doing a spin-off, changing the next season and making it just all about Sarah Gilbert's character. I think that's kind of a dumb idea. It's a show called Roseanne, based on Roseanne and Dan Connor and their family, not Darlene Connor, but whatever. I think she should be held responsible personally. She should be punished personally. And they could have gone from there. Do I know what they could have done? Absolutely not. Now, a lot of people are saying, a lot of people compared what she said to what the guy who's taking a kneel during the national anthem in the football. It's the same thing, kind of. In the way that I don't know if he's been fired or kicked off the team or fined or whatever. He's also doing his way of free speech. And he's doing it in a totally different way. It's peaceful. It's kind of taken its own route now. It's no longer about police brutality. It seems like that what he wanted to, why he was taking the knee. But it's now become more about him. And it's taken away from the cause. So his intentions were good, but it's kind of taken away from what he wanted to do. But what I mean is, comparing it to that situation is, he still got his free speech, and he also had to attain for the consequences. Because if you think about it, he's also on the clock. He's working for the NFL. If they don't want this representing them, they have the right to also do what they got to do. Just like this situation. I know a lot of people are disagreeing with that as well, because either you're liberal, conservative, what have you. I'm neither. I could give a rat's fucking ass about politics, political parties, this and that. I think about what I think is right, and I can see both sides. What Roseanne said was stupid, but what this guy is doing is also against the rules, so he should be held accountable for his actions. It is what it is. It seems shitty, but it is what it is, because he's on the clock, he's on the field, he's being paid this ungodly amount of money to do a job, but then now the NFL are being represented poorly by him because he's not following the rules. They have strict guidelines for uniforms, this and that, and what he was doing, I guess, was against the rules. So he's representing the NFL. NFL don't like it, so he's being held accountable. So ABC did what they had to do. Now the problem is, a lot of people are also talking about the hypocrisy. And I think, and that is really smart too, because now ABC is going to be on a microscope because of past instances. A lot of people are talking about, well, why don't they fire Joy Behar from The View, where all those women cackle and argue over everything? Well, because I guess recently or a while ago she compared Christians to the mentally ill. And I don't know if anything happened behind the scenes. I don't know if she was fined or reprimanded or what have you. But that's true. Why did ABC fire Roseanne right away, even after she apologized, and Joy Behar is still on The View? Maybe it's because, I don't know if there's a certain time frame from when that happened to when this happened. A lot of people are saying Roseanne, they were just looking for a way to get rid of Roseanne because of her supporting Donald Trump. I personally don't give a shit about Donald Trump, but I don't know. A lot of it's conspiracy theories too. I personally think that now anyone on ABC, if they say something racist, they do anything, against religion, they need to be held accountable for too, because you can't say what Roseanne did was bad, but let Joy get away with what she said about Christianity. And another thing is, a lot of people are going after Jimmy Kimmel as well, because there are plenty of clips and pictures, we're talking about the racism, of Jimmy Kimmel in blackface, parodying basketball players. He was in blackface parodying Roseanne. Now, granted, this was on Comedy Central and not ABC. That could be their way of saying that, well, that was a different channel that Jimmy was representing, and he hasn't been in blackface since he's been on his ABC talk show. So that's also differences as well. What Comedy Central is allowed to show, what they don't care about showing, they fucking have South Park of all things, is different from ABC standards. Same with like when on Always Sunny in Philadelphia, when Mac was in blackface pretending to be Danny Glover on their Lethal Weapon 5 parody. Different channel, different sets of standards and practices. So you can't necessarily, as much as I dislike Jimmy Kimmel, I dislike him because I've never found him funny. You can't really hold ABC responsible for what Jimmy Kimmel did on another channel, because you don't know what their restrictions are on Comedy Central compared to ABC. And the thing is, ABC is also on basic cable. Basically, anybody gets it. Not everybody gets Comedy Central. Not everybody gets FX. For the longest time, we went without Comedy Central because we didn't fucking watch it. So more people see it on ABC. So that's the whole Jimmy Kimmel situation. Now, like I said, ABC is going to be under a microscope. They're going to have to watch and listen to what other people say, because there's going to be so many protests and boycotting if this continues to go on and other people are excused from their opinions, but Roseanne is fired. But I think Roseanne is probably the catalyst of this, and it might change the way things are said on this channel. Now here's another conversation I had. We'll bring up Trump again. I had a conversation on Facebook talking to this person, and they were a Trump hater. And like I said, I don't really give a shit about Trump. I don't follow politics. I don't care what he's doing for this country. I don't care what he's doing against this country. I have better things to do than complain about our president. Although I do think his dumbass probably should stay off Twitter, because he makes us look bad, or makes himself look bad, regardless of what he says. Now, we're talking about free speech. Why is it these same people are saying Roseanne's getting what she deserves, okay, but these are also the same people that were sticking up for Kathy Griffin. When Kathy Griffin either did like that video or that photo shoot where she had that fake disembodied head bloodied of Donald Trump. And they said that was okay because it was free speech. Now, maybe it's because I'm a white guy. I personally think mocking a decapitation, no matter whether you like the person or not, he's not Hitler, okay? He didn't cause the deaths of millions of people. He's not, burning people and hanging them publicly like Saddam Hussein is. He's just a dick, okay? He's an asshole, a pompous asshole. But maybe as a white guy, I see mocking a decapitation of a living person worse than a racist tweet. And it's because a lot of people told me I don't know what blacks have gone through all my life. No, I don't. Okay, but I also know that murder is also wrong. You can apologize, not even if it's Roseanne. You can say something stupid and apologize for it, and then try to improve yourself. Try to make amends with anybody. Here, this was mocking the murder of somebody and the leader of our country, no matter what you think of him. And a lot of people said that it was worse what Roseanne did because it was a race issue. That I can't side with because it's murder. Murder, I'm sorry. Murder is worse than racism. Racism can lead to murder. So, that's that next step. And I just don't understand why Kathy Griffin was forgiven by more people that are forgiving Roseanne. And that's hypocrisy right there. Those people who are complaining about what Roseanne said need to look at themselves. You are also mocking a decapitation of a human being. So there's the hypocrisy in yourselves. You need to realize, where are your priorities? I'm fine with Kathy Griffin saying how much she hates the president. I wasn't affected that she had that head. I didn't give a rat's ass. I'm bringing that up because these people that are hating on Roseanne are praising Kathy Griffin. You can't. That's total hypocrisy, and that just makes no sense. So that's why I brought her up. So in the end, do I think Roseanne should have been fired? Fired? I don't know. Reprimanded? 100%. But again, she's apologized, and she's not the first celebrity. Remember when Mel Gibson got drunk and said he hated the Jews? He's made many movies since then, and people still work with him. So many people still work with Victor Salvo. People still worked with Roman Polanski after they've done these horrible acts. People knew about Harvey Weinstein and what he did and still continued to work with him. You can still work with a piece of crap and make a living no matter what they've done. That's sad to say. There's a lot more people out there worse than Roseanne and what she's done, even if she's blaming Ambien right now, because it did make her right. Who here hasn't been on some sort of drug or alcohol and has done something stupid and embarrassing? So many people have done it, and they've apologized, and hopefully the people have forgiven them and they've moved on. I've never been on Ambien. I don't know what it does, but I've heard you can do some crazy shit. But in the end, Roseanne did what she did. She's paying for it. She's apologizing. She's trying to make amends. It's up to the people to either just move on or forgive her. I do think she should have been reprimanded herself. I don't think the show should have been canceled. It could have gone on hiatus, and I don't know, maybe she could have gone to sensitivity training with the Starbucks people. I don't know. But the thing is, I see both sides. ABC doesn't want her representing their brand, and I understand that 100%. But then they also gotta realize that they have other people on their channel also saying things that they probably shouldn't be saying publicly. So, in the end, Roseanne, it's too bad you did what you did, but you're paying for it. But ABC, you're going to have to watch now, and I guarantee you, if you keep letting a lot of this stuff happening, because with social media and all this stuff now, you're going to be watched, and you're going to be watched hard. And if you're worried about PR now, it's going to get a lot worse if more people get away with more things. And then again, she's not the first, she won't be the last, and this will happen all again, and I won't talk about it on social media. So there, I've rambled on long enough, way longer than I should have. That's my thoughts on this situation. I think it's blown out of proportion in a lot of ways. I think it's hypocritical in a lot of ways, but I also think it's justified in a lot of ways. So take that as you will. Cheers.